A month or two ago, I made a video ranking The Cure's music catalog, and a lot of people were upset over the fact that I placed the top at, well, the bottom. One person suggested I give the album another listen, so I did. When giving the album another listen with an open mind, I actually really like it. I'll admit I was under the impression that it wasn't a good album according to what other people said, so I went in pessimistically during the first listen and kind of admittedly wrote it off as a stinker. But I can see why other people did the same thing. It's definitely The Cure's most experimental album, and definitely not laser-focused like, say, Disintegration or Blood Flowers. But again, this record has really grown on me like a mushroom, and today, well, not to quote me and one of my friends' old series, but you might as well say I'm giving it my second opinion. The album starts off strong with Shake Dog Shake, welcoming us into the twisted, gloomy circus show that is The Top. Originally, I preferred the live version on Concert. Yeah, that's right, their first live album is actually called Concert. You gotta love The Cure, they cut right to the chase. But eventually, I started to lean towards the original, especially once I got used to the slower tempo. The song is all about portraying dark thoughts through a bright-colored kaleidoscope as sort of a sugarcoat. Next up is Bird Mad Girl, which is hands down one of my favorite Cure songs, and makes really good use of a Spanish guitar accompanying a very groove-oriented new wave style track that's almost danceable. The chorus is definitely something similar to something on a Psychedelic Furs record, inspired by the poem Love in the Asylum by Dylan Thomas about a girl in a mental institution who's mad as a bird. Next up we have the atmospheric track Wailing Wall, which has some really cool Middle Eastern undertones to it with the ambiance of what sounds like voice-altered camels before a ceremonial drum beat begins as you journey through a dark desert. The track is inspired by a trip to Jerusalem he took while on tour with the Banshees. Giving It is the fourth track, and just like Shake Dog Shake, I originally liked the live version better before this one grew on me. Even with a slower tempo in the studio version, it's still very energetic and aggressive, while throwing in some random quirky saxophone every now and then. I really like the My Head is Cold part, pretty dark stuff. Track number 5 is the short but sweet Dressing Up, which makes great use of a dreamlike synth with woodwind flutes, somewhat of a continuation or second part of the previous track's description of an addict who wants the drug before finally having it and being satisfied with their fix. The Caterpillar, which is the album's sole single, is still a song I don't like, so I'm just gonna skip this one. The 7th track is Piggy in the Mirror, and this is one that took some getting used to for me. Maybe it was the jazz organ on the chorus, I don't know. Robert Smith's voice also sounds lower than he usually sings for whatever reason, but I guess it works. You have your typical Cure elements of chorusy, rhythmic guitar and bass. Not exactly sure what this song is about. I mean, it could be a Lord of the Flies reference, or just someone unhappy with their image, I don't know. We then get another short but sweet atmospheric track with The Empty World, which starts off really good with this sort of gloomy marching band going into battle. However, the whimsical flute tune that kicks in at about the 25-second mark just ruins it for me, so I usually just skip this one. Next up, we have the very dark and quirky Banana Fishbones, which has some pretty cool Oinko Boinko vibes to it. This is another one that briefly took some getting used to due to the rather campy sounding keyboards early on, but once the chorus kicks in, I was hooked. Just like a banana fish. Kinda like in the short story A Perfect Day for Banana Fish that the song's inspired by. Finally, we have the closing title track, a haunting atmospheric song that wraps things up and bids farewell to the dark, gloomy circus show that is The Top. Normally, Robert Smith excels at creating lengthy songs with plenty of room for the words to breathe, but I feel like this one goes on for a bit too long. Nevertheless, I still like it, and it's a pretty good closer. So yeah, again, The Top is really an album that grew on me. My new ranking is giving it a 4 out of 5. I'd probably replace it on my old ranking just below Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, and right above 17 Seconds. Alright, so here's my new ranking. Wild Mood Swings, self-titled album, 3 Imaginary Boys, The Head on the Door, Faith, 17 Seconds, The Top, which is now in the middle, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Wish, 413 Dream, Blood Flowers, Pornography, and Disintegration. So there you go. I hope everybody's happy now. And if you excuse me, I'm going to go back to try and beating every single Final Fantasy game that I haven't already. Later.